Well, Lena, hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
For those of you who are listening, I am with Lena, who is the owner of Lavish Braids Hair Lounge. She's one of my good friends, and I'm excited to be sitting with her today. So, are you ready to just get right into it?
I'm ready.
Perfect, let's go.
Yeah.
So, I guess let's just go with the first question.
Okay.
What is it about hair, or what is it that you do that really spoke to you and kind of got you into becoming an entrepreneur and kind of starting your business?
That's a great question. Can you ask it again?
Yeah, so you're a braider, you do great work. Like, what was it, or what was the moment in your life, or a realization that you had that said, like, this is what I want to do?
um, hmm. Well, I've always been interested in like hair, like in general, just doing hair, playing with hair.
Yeah.
Some lady walks by with like long, beautiful, flowy hair. I'm like, oh my god, like I want that.
Yeah.
And so like my senior year, I went to Junction, and like I could do my own hair. I knew how to braid my own hair, and there was this girl there who was like, oh my god, like your braids are so good. Can you do mine? I was like, sure, whatever,
Yeah.
And so I was kind of just doing it just because it was fun at the time. So that's one reason. It's just fun. And so I did her hair, and it looked really good. And I ended up having like a few different people at school ask me like, hey, like, could you do my hair? And I'm like, sure,
Yeah.
why not? And so it kind of just turned into like, I'm really good at this. I enjoy this. And in my head, that's something like you should pursue if you're good at it and you enjoy it. It's like a hobby.
Yeah.
You should definitely pursue it.
Yeah.
So
Is there like a feeling, or I don't know, how does it feel like inside when you're doing this? Is it something that you feel throughout the process? Is it something at the beginning or at the end?
there's like three different feelings that I feel.
Yeah.
So like I'll see a style and I'll have my client and like I'll be super excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, I get to try this new hairstyle. And then in the moment of doing the hair, like I'm just like at peace. Like
Yeah.
I'm just calm. My mind is like in a little field of grass.
Yeah.
It's like da da da. And then like afterwards, when my client's gone, I'm like stressed out. Like I'm literally panicking. I'm like, I need another client. I literally like stress out because
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have any clients right now. So there's like three different feelings. I
Yeah.
feel.
How does it feel to, like, are there moments when you're like working with a client that you see, I don't know, like they kind of change, or like there's an energy that kind of happens that you
Yes.
pick up on, and how does that coincide, I guess, with how you're feeling?
It makes me really happy because usually I'll do a lot of the time like I'll have them faced away from the mirror because then they can like really like at the end of the style I'm like, are you ready to see the
Yeah.
end result? And just spin them around and their face is like either a big smile or it's just like, oh my god, like full of excitement. And like that's part of the reason I do it, just because like when you see yourself in a different way, like it's exciting.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the feeling that I hope my clients will always feel. And when I get to see that, it makes me like really happy.
Yeah. Because you did my hair, like, what was it, like a couple...
December,
Yeah,
I
in
think.
December. And I remember, and I've told you this over and over again, that when the way I looked at myself when it was all done was like a way I've never did before.
Right.
And so I just remember feeling like I'm a completely different person. And so, I mean, I imagine for you, hearing that back is kind of really rewarding.
It makes me feel good. It makes me know that like what I'm doing is helping other people like see themselves literally in a completely different way. Whether that's like boosting their confidence or just a surprise, like, oh my god, like this might be a new style that I might keep forever. Like you never know. So it's super exciting.
Yeah, no, I think it's amazing, and I think you do really great work.
Thank
and,
you.
and it's really inspiring. What's probably like a personal aspect to what you do, or just to who you are, that you think people don't always get to hear or see about you?
I would say I'm like always thinking about the next style. Or just thinking in general. Always trying to like perfect something, learn something new. It's kind of, like I said, stressful the second my client leaves, because I'm like, now what's next? Like, I want to do something again.
Yeah.
So, on a personal level, like, it gets like very, very stressful.
Yeah.
Because I'm always wanting to learn, always wanting to be better. So I put a lot of pressure on myself.
Yeah. So what keeps you in alignment? Like, what is like, okay, if I want to do this, and I'm very hard on myself about it, like, how do you get from where you are to that?
I'll try to find a client. I'll be like, hey, like, let's work together. I want to try this. Would you be down to try this style? And usually they're like super, super excited to try something new.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just put myself in a position to where I can.
What's your like? Do you have any fears? Like, what's your biggest fear for you personally with this? Because I know some people, their biggest fear is either failing at something, or that they'll be better than they think they could actually be, or different things like that. Like, what's kind of something that might be in the back of your mind?
I never want to stop learning. So
you're a big learner.
Yes. So I would say I don't want to get comfortable. I don't like being comfortable.
Would you argue that perhaps being, or that desire to kind of stay comfortable, or to feel that you've learned all that there is to learn, kind of limits, other people from going for certain goals that they want to do?
Definitely. Because I feel like if you stay in one spot for like too long, you kind of just be like, oh, well, this is all that there was. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, whoopsie.
There's nothing more to do.
There's nothing more to do, nothing more to learn. And I'm like, I don't ever want to. There's nothing wrong with that, but personally, I don't ever want to do that.
Right.
So, yeah, that would be my biggest fear, is getting too comfortable.
So based on that, like, how would you define what being successful looks for you now?
Just staying up to date with like current hair trends, because everything's always changing. Always having my goals set, and then just making sure like my clients are happy, get them to try new things. And if like there's a style like I'm not sure how to do, I will do my best to learn it for somebody.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Has your idea of success changed from when you originally like started this, or like when you were in high school and you were like, yeah, this is just kind of what I want to do, to now? Or has it always been kind of consistent?
It's been pretty consistent. I think when I have reached my goals, there's another one that just pops up. So this one's gone, here comes a new one.
Yeah.
So I see like every day there's a new goal that pops up into my head.
Yeah.
Some of them don't happen, or some of them do happen, and it's like, okay, give me the next one, like ready to go.
Like, are there certain goals that you're like, okay, these definitely have to be number one? Or
so when I first started, I had like a big 5-year goal, and it was to have a business downtown. That was always been my dream.
What you do now? You have
on
a little
Main
studio.
Street.
Yeah, which is nice. And by the way, the way you treat your clients when they come in is like superb.
Yeah.
Like, you really feel welcomed and
I
wanted.
love
so
that
sorry,
makes me
continue
happy.
though.
No, that makes me really happy. Yes, I wanted my business downtown on Main Street. And then I wanted a space that was inviting, luxury, and also just like different than what most people who go to braiders experience, I guess. Like a new experience for different kinds of people too. And so that was one of those goals. And then pretty much just get as many clients as I can, make as many people happy as I can.
Yeah.
And I'm still working on that. There's one big one, but I can't say it because then it won't happen.
You're right, yeah. You don't want to jinx it.
Yeah.
So, I guess, what made you decide to do that here? Like, what about Grand Junction, kind of the community, kind of, other than like, you know, living here, because you can, you know, go to Denver, you could, you know, probably go to a bigger city.
Right.
What made you say like, hey, this is the place where I want to do this? You know, what about kind of the connections and everything?
To be honest, I was never like gonna be a braider. Like, yeah, I just like to do hair, so I was never gonna do it. I was gonna go to school for interior design in Denver because I wanted to be an interior designer. And when I realized like how happy that girl was when I did her hair and how many people started asking me, I was like, there's not really any braiders here in Junction.
Yeah, that is
like,
true. Yeah.
I'm one of, I would say, lucky few who knows how to do their own hair. But how can I help people here in this town that's growing like crazy, which is so exciting.
Yeah.
But it's growing like so quickly. How can I solve a problem? Because I had talked to people and they're like, we have a braider, they're not reliable. We know somebody who braids hair, but I think it's more of just like, not like super serious about it. And I was like, I want to solve that problem. And so I was like, I want it to be serious if I'm gonna do it. And so it kind of just happened. Like, I don't think I chose to come to Grand Junction and be like, I'm gonna be a braider.
Right.
It kind of just happened because like I saw that there was a problem that needed to be solved.
Yeah, supply and demand.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Because I remember, especially when I went to school at CMU, I would do a lot of, I don't remember what they're called, like when incoming freshmen or students that are scouting schools would come, and you'd have, you know, the kids who are mixed or, you know, black students, high schools come in. And I remember very vividly, I was doing a presentation to a group, and it ended, and then afterwards, this family came to me, and they come like to the side, and they're like, so, where do you get your hair done?
Yeah.
And I was like, honestly, I kind of don't, unfortunately. Like, I don't really know anybody like I would trust. And then so, speaking on that, like, I think you're definitely in a place that's wanted.
Yes.
And it's nice now to be in the position to say, hey, like, I do have somebody. Lena's here, like, she can do it for you. And so, I mean, how does that feel to know that in and of itself is part of the community dynamic where there is a need for that kind of experience and that want?
It feels really good, actually, because I actually didn't grow up around other black people. I'm adopted, so I grew up with a white family.
Yeah.
And even in school, I was around like a lot of white people, which isn't a big deal. But so coming here and like even surrounding myself around other black people was like kind of intense for me.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even know how I'm supposed to act. But when I realized like that I could do something, not just like, obviously not just being black, but I could be a part of the community because I like to do hair.
Right.
So it felt like really good because that's now how I connect with other black people.
Right. Through hair.
Is through hair. Yeah. And so like even going up to people when I was doing my business card, they'd be like, oh my God, like I love your hair. By the way, I do braids. Like take my card, call me. And so it felt really good because then like it helped me personally and then it helps them too.
Yeah. So speaking of, you know, family and friends, what is it like for them and for you to kind of see you pursue this? You know, are they very supportive? Like what's the dynamic?
They're so supportive.
Yeah.
Like so supportive because
what's your like favorite memory or something that they've said or done or like just the overall experience?
Actually, my best friend, her name is Tanya.
Shout out Tanya.
Shout out Tanya. There was like a couple months ago, actually, I had just quit one of my other jobs, and I really enjoyed that job too, and I just needed, like, I couldn't work there anymore.
Right.
And like, it was so intense that I was leaving that I was like, if I leave this job, then I have to commit to doing hair 1000%.
Yeah.
And so I was telling her, we were just driving downtown. I was like, girl, you know how I've been telling you that I want a fucking spot on Main Street? Sorry, I just cursed. I want a spot on Main Street, and I'm going to have that spot. You have no idea. And then after we hung out that day, I didn't talk to her for like 2 months. And in those 2 months, I had gotten on Facebook Marketplace, found the suite that I wanted downtown, and, you know, did everything I needed to get it ready. And she texted me, she's like, why haven't I heard from you? And I was like, I'll tell you, like, in a couple weeks. Like, I'm not ready yet. And so like, a couple weeks later, like, I was like, girl, you ready to go see what I've been working on? She's like, yes. And so I showed it to her, like, my little suite. And she was like, Lena, one thing I notice about you is when you say you want something, all you do is go get it. Yeah. Like, you did that so quickly, and I thought you were just talking, girl. Like, I love you, but you talk a lot. I thought you were just talking. And the fact that you went and did that is crazy. So that, like, felt really good because that's how I see myself, is when I want something, I'm gonna go get it.
Yeah.
And so, like, they're very supportive. Like, my best friend's supportive. My parents are supportive. I told my dad, I was like, when I have my suite downtown, he's like, Lena, you have your suite downtown. I was like, oh my God, you're right.
You're like, wait a minute, I forgot that this happened. Yeah.
But, no, my friends and family are very supportive of me.
Where does that determination come from for you? Like you say, everybody says, you know, you're one of those people that, like, boom, if this is what I want to do, you get it done. Like, where does that kind of determination and confidence
I don't know.
come from?
I have no idea.
Is it one of those things where you feel like you kind of just fake it till you make it, or you kind of just embody like somebody just different, and you're just like, you almost black out a little bit and you're like, boom.
It's more of like it feels like it's like a physical pain. Like, it feels like so intense of just like I can self-motivate myself to a point where it's just like I can feel it throughout my body.
Yeah.
So I don't know like where it actually comes from, but it's just a feeling that I get. It's like overwhelming. Like, if you don't freaking do that, you're a failure or something. I don't know. I don't know. It just happens.
Oh, that's awesome. Like, what do you wish the community or, you know, those around you kind of understood about your passion, what you're trying to do, and kind of who you are? That they may not kind of like right now in this moment.
That's a really good question.
Ooh, that's a one for me. Good question. Or just even just like kind of just one message. Or I guess if there was a message that you want everyone at large to kind of really get, what would it be?
I'm trying to build something that creates a feeling of class, I guess. Mm-hmm. So like, you know, lower class, middle class, higher class, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
I'm trying to create something for, I feel like, a community that doesn't experience that, whether it's the Black community or whatever community you want to call it, that doesn't get to experience like the feeling of luxury, which is a big part of what I like. I like shiny, expensive things, and I want to create that feeling for everybody.
Right.
So I'm kind of just trying to build that.
Yeah.
And make it to where it's not necessarily selective, but also like I want people, when they hear about this project that I'm working on that I can't say, but when they hear about Lavish Braids, they're gonna be like, I feel so excited to go here because I've been on this wait list for this amount of time. Like, that's what I want. I want it to be like, I want people to feel like they like have to be on a wait list to get it.
Yeah, but it's also like the experience piece, right?
Yes.
Like it's not just like, hey, you're coming to me to do your hair.
There's a reason why they're coming to me.
Like there's an element of like, you know, this is something that you're really dedicated to, and so there's a service to and an experience that you want to provide.
Creating that experience for them.
Yeah, because like I said, when I came to you, I was blown away with how you made me feel the whole, you know, from the beginning to end, and so I can imagine, you know, your drive to want to provide that. And for those of you listening, if you experience it, you will understand what I'm talking about. It was phenomenal. But so kudos to you on that. I think you know that's a great idea, and I think it's something that will add a lot of value for that, for sure. Thank you. So from where you are right now, if you could go back or you know, revisit your younger self, is there anything that you would say as words of advice, or just kind of anything you'd just be like, hey, keep going? Like what would you really like say to yourself?
Honestly, I wouldn't ask for anything else.
You wouldn't say or do anything else? Like everything has just kind of been,
because I'm happy.
Yeah.
Like, every struggle or every like exciting thing that I've experienced, I would want to experience it again.
Yeah.
Just because, like.
Is there one struggle or win that sticks out to you that's like, oh, this is one of those moments that I would experience or again, or one of those moments that I wouldn't ever change because it helped me to get where I am now? And why, if so, why is that moment so significant for you?
Actually, the most recent would be because I was doing braids out of I had like a little she shed at my parents' house that my dad built for me. And it was very unprofessional, I will say.
Yeah.
Because like we had to hook up like a heater, we had to hook up like an air conditioner. There was a sink in there that didn't run.
Hey, you were making do with what you had at the time.
If my clients had to use the restroom, we'd walk through the house, I'd be like, knock, knock, Dad, I got a client coming in. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So being able to move into a space where I wanted to be downtown on Main Street, that would be probably the most exciting like struggle and transformation to where I am now, because it's now that professional that I was going for, has the look that I'm going for, the experience that I've been dying to create for so long. Like I needed to be at the little she shed to experience that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's pretty cool. So based on that and where you are now and your whole entire journey, what is the next kind of 5 to 10 years look for you? I know there's this project, can't mention it. But
can't mention that.
Yeah, but like, you know, we're at the 5 years from now mark. Like, what's happened?
So, by this time, the diversity has exploded in Grand Ocean. There is everybody everywhere. Okay. I would love to see a hair store here for Black hair that's inclusive to everybody, not just Black. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I just want a hair store.
And then where are you at personally 5 years from now? Like, how are you feeling about your journey and where have you gotten?
I feel good. I feel like I've gotten to meet as many people as I could. Honestly, I still just want to be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Quit my job. And just be better than I am right now.
Yeah. What's one thing outside of what you do right now that you want to be remembered for, or you want to be kind of your impact on our community, on the people around you, and the people you kind of interact with?
Honestly, I just want to be kind to everybody. I want everybody to feel like I'm a good person, and I also, I just want to be remembered for being kind.
That's awesome. So what's one thing about you that it's kind of surprising that people wouldn't know or think about?
I actually talk all the time.
So you're just a talkative person?
Yeah.
So you should be in my seat is really what should be happening.
I act like an introvert. I might be an introvert. I don't know, but I do talk all the time.
So
a lot.
You're just an introvert.
Okay, this is the thing. When I'm with my clients, though, like it can either be a silent appointment or we can be talking the whole time.
Which ones do you prefer? Or which ones tend to work out better, I should say?
I feel like I get stuff done faster when it's silent. Like we can move products going in, hair slicked down, looking good. But when I'm talking, I'll be like, oh no, like just like walking around my studio, kind of just going crazy. So I honestly don't care.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I would have never really taken you for a very talkative person. So you're very deceptive that way. What's the last thing that's like kind of truly inspired you recently? Whether it's something you read, saw, or like a client that you had.
Recently, it's just been social media. I've studied social media off and on just for fun. And so there's like looks that I'm going for. I'll study those ideas. I'll study pages. I'll study influencers. And that's fun to me. And so
you're watching, just taking notes?
Yeah, just taking mental notes and trying to incorporate that into my services, my client's experience, and then kind of just go from there.
So we know hair is your thing.
Hair is my thing.
But let's say we're in an alternate universe and that's not what you're doing. Is there anything that you would be doing that has nothing to do with hair?
Be an interior designer.
How did that become a thing? Like, what about interior design is like interesting to you?
I like the way things look. I like organization, and it kind of also has to do with social media. I just like to see how pieces come together. I like textures too. That's another reason I love doing hair. I like how it feels on my hands.
Interesting.
I just like to see how things come together, make it go from an empty room into just like a beautiful space.
Okay.
And then there's so much to do too. Like you can switch it up. You can be like mid-century modern to strictly modern to minimalist to brutalistic. Like I could go on. But yeah, interior designer.
But we are approaching the end of this, so what I want to do is just say, tell the audience how they can support you. So just lay it on them.
If you want to support Lavish Braids, best thing to do is follow me on social media at Lavish Braids Hair Lounge. I'm pretty sure I think that's it. Lavish Braids Hair Lounge. And then book an appointment with me. My link is in my bio. And scroll through, look at things that you like, ask me questions, ask me styles that you want to try. Get my name out, and yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Lena, for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And if you're watching, definitely go to her. She's amazing. But thank you for being here.
Thank you.